Hi angels, welcome to Earth Angel Energy. I'm the Earth Angel and today I'm bringing you another pick a card reading, and today's topic is how do people view your looks? So your beauty, your attractiveness, how do people view them? And I have 3 piles for you. Pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Go ahead and take a second, see which pile resonates with you, and we can go ahead and get started. Hi pile 1. So if you chose the first pile, then this is your reading on how do people view your looks. Okay, so I'm seeing a level of natural attractiveness. So there's something very healthy about you, something very fresh about you with this star. You look like you take good care of yourself. You look like your good looks and your attractiveness really kind of comes from within as well. But with the Emperor, you also take good care of yourself. So I feel like people can tell that once again, you might be getting active, you might be active, you might be eating healthy or eating healthier. Your skin looks good. I see someone here where this might not be the case for you, but I would imagine that you take pretty good care of yourself. You either have some sort of routine or you have a sort of lifestyle that really does enhance your looks. I think you know how to dress. I think you know how to carry yourself. Great hair, great skin. I mean, the Emperor just really takes care of all their bases. You might have your own unique style, your own unique flair, but you look well put together. I'll be honest, with the Temperance and the 8 of Cups and the Judgment, I feel like even people who might generally be a little bit more judgmental about people's looks or be a little bit pickier, feel like there's really not a whole lot to complain when it comes to you. I feel like this is also an energy that could be increasing, so I would definitely recommend, if you're already getting healthier, if you're working out, if you're getting more active, I would really recommend that, because I feel like this Emperor energy is going to translate into a lot of really quick and positive progress. You look healthy. You look healthy, you look vibrant, this sort of aspirational energy too. Naturally attractive, but also like you put in a good amount of effort, maybe not too much effort, because we still have the Temperance here. So you never look overdone, you never look over the top. There's also something very effortless about you, classic about you. Very attractive. Very warm, inviting looks though. I feel like also your looks can kind of change depending on what mood you're in, how you're dressed, what the event is. You could be kind of on a little bit of a glow up journey right now, or like a continuous glow up journey. Yeah, you're looking really good. If you're doing anything, and I highly recommend, I think it's good for everyone to have some sort of routine, whether it's getting active, eating healthy, taking care of your hair, your skin, everything. It's working out really well for you. And I would really, really encourage you to continue this. Or if you're like, okay, I really want to start taking good care of myself, I feel like you will have big, really positive changes very quickly. I feel like you also have the kind of looks where people see you as a really nice canvas. So they feel like you already look good, and as you continue to put in work on yourself, as you continue to improve yourself, you'll just get better and better. Let's get a little bit more. This is nice. Yeah, the Fool, very fresh energy. 10 of Cups, you definitely have that look of either someone who would get wifed up really quickly, you'd become a husband really quickly, or just that look of I could take them home to my family. This is definitely the kind of person I could see myself settling down. Yeah, definitely. Very elevated looks as well. You look well put together. I think, honestly, pile 1, if this resonates for you, you do put an effort on yourself, and it's really showing. It's beautiful. 8 of Swords, the Death card. I'll be honest, I think because you come off so elevated, and once again, people can tell that you put an effort. You don't look like you have to put in a crazy amount of effort, but you take good care of yourself. And I do think the one thing that does come through is a lot of people love your looks. They love your appearance, they love your style. Kind of everything about you feels very, it feels good, it looks good. I feel like also too, a lot of you look quite youthful, or you've maintained your youthful looks, or I'm getting really strongly, if you started to get back into some sort of habits when it comes to taking care of your appearance, you're reversing in age. I see someone taking really good care of their skin, someone working out, someone drinking more water, eating healthier, someone's looking younger and fresher and more vibrant every day. And the one thing that does kind of play into that is I think people around you or people in your life, especially if people see you at the gym, I heard, or like doing some sort of physical activity. I also see someone like buying makeup or like skincare. People know that you put in a certain amount of time into yourself. And I think it does kind of challenge some people who feel like maybe they're not doing much when it comes to their looks. Because I think it's kind of easy when you feel like, oh, just someone doesn't have to do anything, you know, they just naturally are beautiful or they're naturally handsome. But seeing someone who looks really good and then also seeing the effort they're putting in, I think it does kind of challenge some people or make people feel like they're not doing enough. Yeah, Justice, I feel like you have this really amazing quality where you get a really proportional return on your investment when it comes to your looks, which is really nice. I think you have a great canvas. You have like a great background in terms of just like how God naturally made you. And you know, like, okay, like if I'm active, like my body will start to look really nice and fit. If I take good care of my skin will be glowing and smooth and fresh. If I take care of my hair, if I take my vitamins, if I eat healthy, you have a really balanced return on investment. So really continue to invest in yourself. I think you already do, or maybe you have like periods of time where you're more active and then you take some time to rest. You might be considering really starting to invest in your looks again. I would encourage you to do so. What I like here though is with the star, it does come from a point of health as well too. So I think you really do take your health into consideration. You take into consideration how you feel. But I think also you feel good when you feel like you look good, which I can relate to, you know? I feel like when you're dressed nice, when you're carrying yourself well, when you feel good about how you look, you feel good. And I think that you're really enjoying that process. Yeah, the sun. And you have this beautiful glow as well. Let's see, the Two of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. So you do have this beautiful glow. You seem happy. How do people view your looks? There is something challenging though. So I don't know if you break stereotypes or if people have seen you have some sort of transformation where you look different than you used to, or you've started some new pattern or some new routine that's changing your looks for the better. But I do think that some people are finding that challenging. This kind of reminds me of like when you hear, and it's so sad because I love encouraging people and I try to encourage myself to be healthy too. But you hear stories of people who are like, okay, I want to get healthy. I want to be, you know, active and fit. So I'm going to lose weight. And you hear people talk about losing weight. And then they'll say like, all of a sudden everyone in my life got mean with me, or my friends didn't want to hang out with me anymore. And it's, I think honestly, because they built their relationship on someone's appearance or lack of self-esteem, or, you know, and it's like all of a sudden when someone becomes healthy and they're starting to feel really good and they're starting to look really good, you start to like attack them, or you don't want to be their friend anymore, or you don't want to compliment them anymore. I hear a lot of people talk about that. So for some of you, you could be on some sort of health journey. Maybe you're getting active, maybe you're losing weight. And I feel like for some people in your life, it is a little bit challenging, especially if they're used to you looking a certain way or not feeling very good about yourself. But this Emperor energy takes charge. This Emperor says, okay, I know what's going to make me feel good. I know how I want to look. I know how I want the world to see me, and I'm going to make that happen. And I feel like it's very empowering for you. It's very exciting for you. And I feel like it's going to feel very fulfilling for you. But there's definitely some people who are kind of salty about it. Ace of Swords. I feel like you have a very healthy and balanced view about how you are handling your looks right now. I mean, it reminds me, I talk about gardens all the time. I feel like that's one of my favorite allegories. But people who have beautiful gardens, you know, you take care of it. You prune them, you plant beautiful flowers, you water it, you give it plenty of sunlight. That's what you're doing. You're taking very good care of your garden, and you look beautiful, and you look more and more beautiful every day. So I highly recommend, you know, if you're getting active, continue to do so. If you're eating healthy, continue to do so. If you're taking care of your skin, if you're learning how to dress, learning how to do your makeup, I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. I love physical beauty. I think there's so many beautiful things in the world, and I like to invest in my beauty too. And I think it's important. I think it's helpful, and it makes you feel good. It makes you feel confident, and it can definitely help you move through life in a really exciting, dynamic way. So continue to do this. I think you're getting a lot of great results. You're looking really good, and people can tell that whatever you're doing is working. That's what I have for you, Pile 1. Great energy. I do hope that resonated. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, details on how to do that are down below. Thank you so much once again. Until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you. Hi, Pile 2. So if you chose a second pile, then this is your reading on how do people view your looks. Okay, number 1, with the World and the Three of Wands, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if you're making progress in something when it comes to your looks, if you're having some sort of glow up, some sort of transformation, or people feel like you're going to. People feel like you look good, but people feel like you're going to continue to look even better. For some of you, you've either like turned back the hands of time, or you've really maintained your looks over time. You could maybe be a little bit nervous when it comes to your looks, but there's this feeling of you're making progress, or you're growing, your looks are elevating, and people feel like you haven't even like met your final form yet. So for some of you, once again, maybe you're working out, maybe you're eating healthier, maybe you're taking care of your skin, your hair, maybe you're learning how to do your makeup, maybe you're learning how to dress in a really nice, flattering way. There's this feeling of people feeling like you're making continuous progress. Now, it does already feel like the canvas is good. Like the base of what you're working with is already good, so you could be naturally beautiful, naturally handsome, but you're really learning how to hone and continue to let your looks blossom. I would highly recommend, if you're resonating with this and maybe like you're starting out on some sort of glow up journey, really allowing your beauty to thrive, or if you're considering kind of transforming or allowing yourself to elevate looks wise, definitely check out Pile 1, because Pile 1 was like in that mode. Like they were in it, they were looking good, they were taking really good care of themselves. And I feel like this is the energy where, I'll be honest, I think you look good, but I think a lot of people view your looks as like every time they see you, you look better, or they feel like, gosh, like they're gonna look really good. Like there's just this feeling of like almost people imagining how you're gonna continue to become even more attractive. Queen of Cups, very sweet looks as well. I feel like with the Nine of Pentacles and the King of Swords, I'm seeing a lot of looks around particularly capabilities. So you could stand up straight, you could have kind of a very well put together look, but there's something here about people feeling like something about your beauty or your handsomeness is really just gonna blossom even more. It's almost like the package looks really good, and then the infrastructure is just gonna continue to improve. Let's get some more. Yeah, people could also wonder based on your looks, like what your background is, what your nationality is, where you come from. Knight of Wands, very attractive. Three of Swords, ooh. Some people could feel a little bit, okay. I'm definitely getting that some people feel a little bit like nervous or almost like anxious when it comes to your looks, but only because once again, this is, okay. I hope this makes sense. I'm going to try to describe this as best as I can. I think you have people around you who kind of feel like this is it for me. Like I can't look any better. I can't improve my looks, which is not true. It is so not true. Don't ever tell yourself that. But people look at you and feel like, man, like all they have to do is like, keep working out or keep eating healthy or, do their hair nice or do their makeup and they'll be even more beautiful. Like people feel like you look good, but you could continue to look even better. And there's a lot of people around you who feel like it's like over for them. I'm not sure why. Yeah, with the Eight of Swords. You also have the kind of looks where people could assume that like good thing, like I heard pretty privilege. Yeah, Seven of Swords. People can honestly feel like you have the kind of looks where like you get things or people just fall for you or people choose you because you look good. It almost gives me the energy of, I feel like you've been putting a lot of your energy into other aspects of life. So like work, your projects, maybe your education. It's kind of like all the really important tangible things. And I'm seeing someone who's kind of thinking, it's almost like another tool in your arsenal, right? Maybe your finances. So it feels like everything is moving really nicely for you in other aspects of life. And maybe you're naturally more attractive or, you just look good and you're kind of like living life, doing your thing. And I see this feeling of like, should I go to the gym? Should I eat healthier? Should I maybe update my wardrobe or something? Whatever makes sense for you, if you feel like that is something you want to do, I would recommend it. Because once again, it does just feel like another tool in your arsenal. But people kind of almost feel like, oh my gosh, they've got all this going for them and they look good. Or like, especially for some of you, if you are starting to work out and getting healthy and like people are seeing changes in your body right away, or maybe you're taking care of your skin. I heard someone's whitening their teeth. Like, I'm seeing a quick return. But that's on top of all of the other positive qualities that you already have. It's sort of like your looks are the cherry on top. King of Cups, people really like your looks. Force words. But there's something here. You feel like you have more of like an unattainable kind of vibe when it comes to your looks. So yeah, with the Ace of Cups, but it's beautiful. It's very handsome. So like with pile 1, there was a lot of people who felt like they saw pile 1 transforming or saw pile 1 get very attractive, and they kind of felt like, gosh, like I've seen them actually like, improve themselves and they look so good, and feeling a little bit insecure with that. Pile 2, it feels like more like some people look at you and they just feel like you're naturally blessed, or like they just assume that you're naturally gifted with the way that you look. And then it's like, well, God just blessed them. Whereas I feel like for some of you, you either have put in work on yourself or you are putting in work on yourself. Yeah, 5 of Swords. You kind of have the sort of looks where people feel a little bit defeated. I'm going to be honest. You could also have some sort of natural assets that you can't really like get very easily, if you know what I mean, or features that you just kind of have to be born with, or like they're really hard to achieve. But once again, your looks, I don't think that you fully lean like super hard into your looks yet. I think you've leaned into your intelligence, your capabilities. You do look good, but you don't like let that be the main thing that you're writing on. You know what I mean? It's almost like you've poured so much into the tangible parts of life, maybe your career, your connections, your finances, your education. And I'm seeing this feeling of like, like maybe I should, start, really, really upping my physical game. It looks good, but I feel like I think pretty much everyone can relate with this, but like there's always room for improvement. You can always become like more fit. You can always eat healthier. You can always, take better care of yourself. And there's something here where you already take such good care of yourself, but it feels like you could take it to the next level, and it feels like a lot of you are. I don't know. I'm also seeing maybe somebody like took a break maybe from like working out, or, especially if you were working really hard or you're working on your education or something, that totally makes sense if you're like, I don't have the time or the energy to go to the gym, or I don't have the time or energy to eat healthy. And I'm seeing someone being like, you know what? Like, let's get back on our A game. Ace of Cups, come on. 6 of Pentacles, I love it. There's definitely this feeling from a lot of people around you that you're either returning to some sort of past level of like physical, I just heard accomplishment. So once again, there could have been times where you were super fit, or like you like really looked amazing, and you're like getting back to that. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be that hard for you either. Like, I don't think that you've strayed too far. Yeah. No, people definitely feel like there's this feeling of your best or your final form is unattainable for most people. I'm going to be really honest. And it feels like even once again, if you've been kind of like focusing on other things and, taking good care of yourself, but maybe not going to the gym every day, maybe not eating super healthy every day, which I mean, most of us don't. Like I'm certainly in a similar boat, but even with that, with you just kind of like dressing well and like living your life, you still look really good. But there's something about people knowing that you're like getting back on your A game, or you're about to get on your A game when it comes to your looks, that's got a lot of people really shook. I'm gonna be honest. People find you incredibly attractive, but they feel like your max, your zenith, your final form is gonna kind of go crazy. 2 of Cups. People love your looks, I'm gonna be honest. People are really like shook by your looks with the Knight of Swords and the Strength and the Chariot. So I would really recommend, like, you seem like a very accomplished person, or you seem like someone who's doing really well in life. And looks are one of those things where I just don't think they're the most important thing, but I think it's nice to feel good and to look good and to feel healthy and, you know, to fit in your clothes nicely. I think it's a nice feeling, and I think you can kind of understand that. And it can also be helpful in life, you know, it can be a confidence booster. What I'll say is this. If you decide to say, okay, you know what, I'm feeling pretty good with my finances maybe, or I'm feeling pretty good with my career, or I'm feeling pretty good with all these other things that I've been pouring my energy into. If you decide to pour your energy back into your looks, it's going to be devastating. Like, you're going to look devastatingly attractive. Like, if you really, like, put the pedal to the metal when it comes to your looks. And I believe this so strongly. Like, it does break my heart when people will say, like, I'm just not attractive and there's nothing I can do. That is so not true. Any attractive person you see, they put in work, they put in effort, 99% of them. So, like, I think that you already understand that, you already get that. I think you're very attractive in your own right. But if you are feeling like, you know what, maybe I'm going to get back into it. You know, I'm going to get back to my skincare routine. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to drink my water, all that. You're about to have people shook to the ground. Is what I'm going to say, pile 2. So prepare for that. But I think you're going to like this new phase and like that feeling of feeling like, yeah, I'll look good. Because pile 2, I think you look really good. That's what I have for you. Very nice energy. And I will just say, too, with your looks, there's also something very aspirational about you as well. So people could assume a certain level of pedigree because of your looks as well. Don't be surprised. I see a lot of pentacles here. So people could also assume that you come from a prestigious background because of how good you look. But I think a lot of that has to do with your accomplishments, not just how attractive you are. But it looks good, pile 2. That's what I have for you. I do hope that resonated. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, details on how to do that are down below. Thank you all so much once again. Until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you. Hi, pile 3. So if you chose a third pile, then this is your reading on how do people view your looks. Okay, so with the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Swords, I feel like I think my first question is, how do you feel about your looks right now? Because there is this sense of, and this kind of reminds me a bit of pile 2, where there was a lot of focus on other things, more important things. And I'm feeling this sense of, I'll be honest, I'm going to be really honest, pile 3. If you feel like you care about your looks, like if you care, like, oh, I hope people find me attractive and I hope people think I look good, this isn't your pile. Definitely check out piles 1 or 2, because this is very much the energy of someone who's like, I don't care if people like my looks or people find me attractive. Now, let's take a second for anybody, because like if you don't relate to that, this is not your pile, and there are times where you would choose a different pile or you'll choose the wrong pile. I am speaking to someone who is like, it doesn't matter what people think about my looks. That is firmly the energy of pile 3. So if you relate to that, let's go ahead and talk about it, because I have questions for you. Like, I'm really curious. So I guess my question is that true? Because there is this feeling of you being highly intelligent, very hardworking, very capable, but not wanting to deal or confront with like beauty standards, looks, or anything like that. This could be an energy that you're moving out of, that you're interested in moving out of, maybe not. I mean, if you really don't care, I'd be a little curious why listen to this reading. But you could also be in this energy of like, yeah, like, you know, I felt like I didn't care, or I felt like, you know, looks didn't matter, looks weren't important. But maybe you're questioning, or maybe you're wondering, you know, how would I look if I really, you know, put in some energy? You know, how would I look if I, you know, tried to have a glow up? There's a curiosity here that I think you should explore. So let's get a little bit more. I feel like this is definitely going to be a smaller group, but I feel like I am speaking to somebody who, and I know that there's plenty of people who are like, looks should not matter. And I agree, but something about the energy doesn't fully look 10 of Cups. Yeah. Ace of Wands. And the 8 of Cups. Because now all of a sudden I'm seeing all this warmth come through. With the Death card in reverse. Maybe we've had difficult experiences in the past when it came to looks, beauty, or handsomeness. Maybe we've been convinced that there isn't beauty in us, or that we can't find the things about ourselves that can really blossom when it comes to our looks. 6 of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles. Maybe we've lived a life where our beauty wasn't recognized. And so we said, you know what, okay, fine. If people can't see my beauty, I'm going to invest in what they can see. Maybe my intellect, maybe my talent, maybe my work ethic. Maybe I'm just going to make a lot of money so my looks don't matter. Maybe I'm going to get a lot of accolades, or be really funny, or be really charming and engaging. The Sun. And as I'm reading this energy, and I hope you're still here, because I feel like this is an energy that so many of us go through. And honestly, so many people that you consider to be attractive, or you consider to be conventionally attractive, they've gone through this too. And as I'm exploring this energy, it's opening up for me. The energy felt really closed off at the beginning. And I feel like that's why I did that little disclaimer, because the energy very firmly was like, I don't care about my looks. But you should, in the sense of you should be able to recognize your beauty. You should be able to watch yourself blossom. You should be able to tend to the garden that is your physical appearance and watch it grow, watch it blossom. There's nothing wrong with seeing the beauty in yourself and even cultivating it. It's like a garden. You plant beautiful flowers, you fertilize it, you water it, you prune it, you give it plenty of sun and love, and it becomes more and more beautiful. Now, if you genuinely feel like, I don't care about my looks, so you don't care about the beautiful vessel that God gave you? When you look in the mirror, you don't feel anything? You don't care at all? The High Priestess. 6 of Wands. I feel like you came to this reading because you're curious. Because maybe, and I see so much advancement and high level energy for you when it comes to things that truly matter. Your intellect, your wisdom, your accomplishments, your beliefs. This is incredibly important energy. But I feel the curiosity in you. Is it possible to transform? Is it possible for my beauty to blossom, my handsomeness to blossom? What would I look like if I, got really active? What would I look like if I, took really good care of my hair, or learned how to do my makeup, or Page of Pentacles? And it feels new. It feels like a new energy. What would life be like if I had some sort of physical transformation? Maybe you've heard the stories from people who felt not the most attractive their whole life. And I'll just tell you, I was a little bit of an ugly duckling when I was younger. I had an awkward phase like everybody else, and I had quite a bit of a transformation. I think I was always naturally beautiful. The only difference is I didn't give up on that. I didn't say, I don't care about my looks. I just said, you know what? Let me allow my natural beauty to really blossom. Let me take good care of myself. And I'll tell you, being attractive, it does bring challenges, absolutely. You can hear testimonials from plenty of people, but it can also bring a lot of beauty into life as well. 8 of Wands. The warmth that it can elicit, the connections that it can spark. And There's been a lot of energy today about, the world being a superficial place. And it is. The world is unfair. The world is unkind. But if you're still listening to this, I think there's a part of you that's open to exploring a new reality. And maybe, especially when it comes to, whether it's having a glow up or kind of becoming more curious about, how do I really take care of my physical vessel? I feel like your journey was the way that your journey was supposed to go. I feel like God blessed you tremendously when it comes to your intellect, when it comes to your abilities, your talents, your work ethic, which is so important, more important than beauty, in my opinion. But that also showed you that with time, with effort, with determination, you can transform your reality. You've just done it in a more substantial way, with your accomplishments, with your wisdom, with your knowledge. And I think now God is telling you, I can see in your heart, I think He sees in your heart, that you have a desire to allow your physical vessel to blossom. There's that desire there. And I think maybe there is a period of time where you're like, I don't care about my looks. I don't care what people think about my looks. What do you think about your looks? When you see yourself in the mirror, do you smile? Are you taken aback? Do you feel that warmth and that joy at the glow in your skin, or the way that your hair looks, or the way that your body looks, or your smile? If not, that is a feeling that you can experience. And it's nice. Just like when you look at a beautiful flower or a beautiful sunset, God wants you to look in the mirror and feel that way too. And you can. So, what I would say is this. The very accomplished energy that I see when it comes to the really important things in life, the things you've accomplished, your intelligence, your wisdom, take that same analytical approach, that same practical approach, and use that to tend to the garden that is your physical beauty, your physical vessel. And it doesn't have to look like anybody's standard. When you look in the mirror, what would make you feel happy? What would make you feel proud? What would make you feel excited? And it is a nice feeling when you interact with someone and you can tell that they appreciate your physical beauty, and you can see the sparkle in their eye and you feel the warmth from them. It's a nice feeling, and I think it's a feeling you're curious about. It's a feeling that I'm sure you've experienced before, but there's something here where I think you're about to embark on a transformation where you're really going to love the way that you look. And in a couple months' time, in a year's time, when you tap back into this energy, when I read your energy again, it's going to be like, people love your looks, and I think you know it. But they also love everything else about you too. They love how smart and insightful you are. They love how capable you are. The Tower, Ten of Swords, and the Magician. So once again, I feel like there's at least one person who's still listening, and I feel like I'm speaking to something inside of you that you're finally allowing to blossom. There's like a seed that I think you've kept in the dark, because maybe in the past it didn't feel accessible, you didn't feel recognized, you didn't feel beautiful. And so you said, okay, well, I'm going to invest in the things that are recognized about me. I know what that's like. I've been there too. But I think you're going to allow yourself to embrace a new reality, to embrace a new way of being. I think you've convinced yourself that your physical vessel doesn't matter. That the beauty that you hold manifesting, and people seeing it, and people enjoying it, and you enjoying it, and allowing all the beautiful energy that can come in because of that, you've allowed yourself to feel like it doesn't matter. So the message of this energy is really not, how do people view your looks? It's how do you view your looks? And more so, are you going to allow your looks to blossom? Are you going to allow yourself to embrace? Are you going to allow the sunlight to allow your beauty to grow? Are you going to water your garden? Because I think if you really say, you know what, I am beautiful, I'm going to tend to my beauty, I'm going to allow my beauty to blossom, I think there's going to be so many people who are really going to find you absolutely gorgeous. And please remember, we're all born with inherent beauty, absolutely. But I know that you see people and you're like, wow, they're beautiful. They tended their garden. They put in that work. They didn't always look like that. But they believed that the little seeds of their beauty could grow into something truly beautiful. So let's let the light shine on you. Water, clean eating, working out, dressing nicely, do your hair, take care of your skin. If you want to learn how to do your makeup, wear nice jewelry, stand tall, smile. I hope these words convey the amount of love that's in this message and the amount of hope and excitement that's in this message. From one person who's transformed their beauty to another, it's a really, really exciting journey. That's what I have for you, Pile 3. I hope that this was helpful. And I hope that this reached who it was for. I really tried to make sure that I'm speaking to the right people. But I'm so excited to see how your beauty is going to blossom once you really allow it to. And say, you know what? Yeah, let's let the sun shine on my garden. That's what I have for you, Pile 3. Beautiful energy. I do hope that resonated. I hope that was helpful. And once again, I say this with so much love and so much excitement for you. And I've been there where I was like, I'm never going to be beautiful. And once I decided, you know what, that's actually not true, everything changed. And it's nice to know that people find you beautiful, but it's something that you can create. It's something that you can allow to blossom for yourself. Everyone who looks you admire, I promise you, they put in work to get there. But they look good, and I think you will too. I think you already do, but I think there's so much blossoming that you can do as well, as we all can. That's what I have for you, Pile 3. Beautiful message. I hope this sparked that thing inside you that I think is ready to really blossom. I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you all so much for being here once again. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, details on how to do that down below. Thank you so much once again. Until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you.